Again, truth and love
That's why always
to all.
I have been searching for true love in others for a mighty long time. But I came up short. Now I found my true love. It was there all along. I just had to get my act together.
Yes, indeed. And you know, you my friend if you in search for truth.
Mm-hmm.
Truth will
You're a
give
friend of
you
mine too.
all the love
Friend of the law.
that you'll ever need
Mm-hmm.
from the holy breath in one name. And so when we are talking about opening up in the name of the divine creator, Allah Sufiana, this is a divine cherishing moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because truth has been scattered far and wide
Mm-hmm.
for almost seemingly impossible for us to recollect. But truth never dies. Truth was before you came into a physical form.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you have a physical form is because truth exists. So a lot of discoveries have been in our absence.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of discoveries of truth has been rediscovered.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone knows the power of truth, then they know the power of truth is to make you free.
Beautiful.
Not him, not them,
Mm-hmm.
not he, not she,
Mm-hmm.
but you. So that's a very beautiful thing that we want to be able to accept. If you walk in spirit,
Mm-hmm.
is to accept the truth. And we're going to bring in some different scriptures from different walks of the Holy Breath.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you was growed up as a Christian, you was told not to read other books.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
If you growed up as a Muslim, you was taught to seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave.
Yeah.
So we have to understand truth for what it is. Is truth approachable? What is the power of truth?
Mm-hmm.
We have been told that truth can make you free.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been told that man is truth and falsehood, strangely mixed.
Mm-hmm. Sure has.
So there's some falsehood in man
Yes, indeed.
that every man
Uh-uh.
must redeem himself from.
Beautiful.
And when I say man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking both male and female.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Man must realize there is a truth inside of man.
Mm.
And we get a hint of this when it says greater is he
Ooh, my.
that is in you
You. Mm-hmm.
that is in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to say that world is man.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something in the world there's something inside of man that makes man man.
Oh, yes.
And when I say man, I mean both female and male.
There you go.
Man is the riddle we have to solve to the mystery of existence.
That's it.
If you can find the purpose of why man exists, then we can find out the purpose of existence. And there's a hint, hint, wink, wink. Man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed.
That's what it said.
Now, in Christian terminology, it's called the Holy Spirit. In Muslim terminology, it's called the Holy Breath. These words are signifying something to us. These words have been a mystery to man, because this is the signification that is in man. And anything in man, for you to experience, you have to bring it out. So to bring it out, we must know what's in. The Holy Breath or the Holy Spirit is truth. Now that's real clear. The Holy Breath or Holy Spirit is truth. Now what we have to understand about truth is omnipotent. It is the power of all powers. It is the wealth of all wealth. It is the begotten of all begotten. But in order to understand truth, we're going to know how is truth directed. See, this is where we have to understand how the truth is directed. See, everything the Spirit don't touch. The Spirit don't touch flesh. Or that's called a collision or a collapse, like two cars touching. Spirit is contrary to flesh. So that which is in man is opposite of flesh. The falsehood of man is akin to flesh. Truth never dies, so that means that truth cannot belong to the flesh. As in our mighty Illah Su Fi Anna, all that is born dies in the universe.
Look at all your loved ones.
That's how we have to come to this reckoning.
That was young and just like you, and lived to get old, and now has gone on to another place. another existence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just push right there. Go ahead.
Oh, because that's beautiful. That's how we represent and know that death is real.
That's right.
Because our loved ones.
There you go. And when you said that, that's all I could think about. When my mother was a teenager, a school teacher, I remember that, y'all.
Mm-hmm. This was what truth is. And we have to understand, as we seen what came before us, go before us, the same thing will happen when our appointed time
Look at that.
arrives.
Appointed time.
See, truth has a creator. The reason why it's called truth is because it's true. If it's not true, then you had something in school called true or false. So when you answer the question, true or false, life is that simple. Is life true? See, and these are the things that we have to first have a self. Without a self, none of this even can be thought of. Which brings us to the period point of all things in the universe die. Now, what we want to understand is man a thing? Considering all things in the universe die. If we want to live in truth, then we must walk in truth.
Oh, yes.
If you don't walk in truth,
Yes.
then you walk not in truth. Man is a thought, not a thing. Man is a thought, not a thing. This is what we have to understand. Things die, thoughts do not. So this is giving us a scenario here. Was thought before time?
Good question.
Because things are wrapped in time. There was a time, you remember?
Oh, yes, I do. 73 years of remembrance and kicking.
And didn't these things also cease to be? These things is different as spirit is different from flesh. The thought is different than thing. Time is a thing. Thought is not. Thought is no thing. So we have to learn that the finite mind cannot comprehend things spiritual, infinite,
Mm-hmm.
truthful.
Mm-hmm.
The finite mind is the fleshly mind,
Yeah.
what we call
Yeah.
matter.
There you go.
So there's an old Southern cliche that goes mind over matter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this gives us a contra standing
Mm.
that mind and matter cannot be the same thing.
Mm-mm.
If you saying something need to be over something,
That's correct.
the same, there's no distinction.
Hmm.
But in the difference, there is.
Mm.
So when we pick up from the Christian narrative, things change. Man's ain't so mighty from thought.
No, he's old wicked.
Yes, actually,
Old filthy rag.
in Islam, man can never be born from sin. In Christianity, they believe that man is born a sinner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that true or false? Let's break it back down to elementary.
What you say?
Is that true or false?
That's a good question.
Well, we're going to go to the Holy Scriptures to see what can we get.
Yeah. See what can we come.
So it ain't our words.
Mm-hmm.
It's the words that's on the page. We're going to come out the Sufayim. Sufa 3 and 14. Some say that we are cursed. Tell me if any of this sound familiar. Some say that we are fallen.
Mm.
Some say that we must atone
Mm.
for our sins.
Mm.
Some say.
Mm. Mm.
So in some false religions,
Mm-hmm.
this is what some say.
Mm.
In all truthful religions,
Mm.
this is what the truthful say. Such narratives
Mm.
are an insult
Mm.
of our divine creator.
Mm. Mm.
Do we let's step back.
Such narrative.
Do we understand what the word insult means?
Oh yes, I do.
Have you ever felt the insult of being insulted?
When it was whites only, I wasn't being insulted then. Don't you start no stuff, man.
This is what
Because I'm going to tell the truth.
now, as they say, raise the interest or inflate. Inflate it now to the divine creator. If such lies have been used in the name of truth,
Yeah, that was then.
now think about how our divine creator feels as you felt when you was insulted.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is the insult feeling
Mm-hmm.
This is something that the Creator gave you called sense, that we can now sense.
Sensitivity.
And now we should be able to see what senses are for.
Mm-hmm.
Sensing the lie.
That's right.
What's opposite of the truth.
Yep.
This is what you can sense.
That's right.
This is what your senses are for, to detect anything not self.
There you go. There you go.
But we've been told a different narrative.
Mm-hmm.
We've been told a different message.
Mm-hmm.
And the messages and the narratives we told was from the books of falsehoods.
Yeah.
And now these falsehoods have been stored, broadcasted to now reside in the brain.
Yeah.
And so now we got to do the cleanup. We got to do the cleanup crew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now self got to clean up its own brain.
Yeah.
Why? Because truth need to dwell.
Mm-hmm.
Truth can't dwell in falsehood.
Mm-mm.
So if falsehood is in the primary storage component, let's say the brain is your battery,
Mm-hmm.
and falsehood drains your battery
Yeah.
all the way to its empty.
Mm-hmm.
Truth is the only thing that will charge up
Charge that. Look here. We need a charge.
a dead battery.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna say this dead battery is a dead brain,
Mm-hmm.
filled by the acid of lies.
Mm-hmm.
Not one cell of truth is left in the circuit of the brain or the battery. So now we are saying
Mm-hmm.
that we have to be our own mechanics, because you have to take your battery
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
or your car to a mechanic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when we talking about who is self's mechanic, when someone else has fooled self and gave self a pot full of lies
Mm-hmm.
and fed it to him spoon by spoon
Mm-hmm.
and blowed it when it was hot
Mm-hmm.
and cooled the lie down
Mm-hmm.
so he'll swallow it. Because you know when it's sensed, if it's too hot, we'll let it out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So truth is that fire
Mm-hmm.
that we can sense that purifies us from any source of anything that's not the truth.
That's right.
I hope we understand that truth itself is equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
You exist as truth exists.
Hmm.
If you chooses not to embody the truth, by default, the devil is a lie.
Hmm. Hmm.
This is why we say the devil is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
See, and if we have any God that is true,
Mm-hmm.
then the true God cannot become a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one more script, and then I'm finna turn it over so we can be able to go to our other main scripture, because we're getting closer to an end. But truth never ends.
Right on.
You the picker up of truth. You the continuation of truth.
Continuation. Beautiful.
Once this shut down, you shut on.
Mm-hmm.
You come online
Mm-hmm.
once this go offline.
Mm-hmm.
Now it says to us, the believers of truth, that the higher self is the embodiment of truth.
Yep.
Not the flesh, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
The self, y'all.
Right there.
The self is the embodiment of truth.
Mm-hmm.
The lower flesh is self reversed. Oh, did we catch that? Truth can be reversed. So this is what our enemy of truth came to us with.
Yeah.
He didn't come to us with truth.
No.
He came to us against truth.
True. Right on.
So to tell you not the truth that the Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Oh my, that's what I read.
Is that true or false? Did he? Ooh, yes. Did he come to us with the truth, or did he come to us with a lie?
He lied. But you would think that he was being truthful because he said it. So now, that ought to tell you, don't you believe everything that you hear? Don't you believe everything that someone say to you? We should be now come to that conclusion by now, without a doubt. But it's all been told that I know since I redirect myself. That's all I've been told was lies and lies. Lies after lies. And that's what everybody getting now. I don't care if you've been to the school or you done been educated, and I don't care if you done went to the church house and done got spiritual motivated. Everywhere he's been, there's a lie waiting on you. I don't mean no harm, but I'm going to be straight to the point. Because I'm sick of lies in all their ways.
That just bring me right back to the screen. It keep repronunciating itself. Truth, reverse. A lie is truth reverse. You cannot taint truth. Truth is. Only thing you can do to truth is reverse it. Then it become is not. And now you take what is as the truth. See, this is very clever for the enemy. Mm-hmm. We're talking about he can get millions of people to agree with his policies, play for his leagues, and join his God game.
Yes, indeed.
Meaning wrapping everybody who watches in truth reverse.
Yeah.
Or we could say the falsehood manifest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, a coin has two sides always. Y'all show me a coin with one side.
No, sir. No, sir, read.
This is how I discover truth and falsehood.
Mm-hmm.
We always know if it land on heads, then the reverse shows. Let's take a game where they flip a coin, football.
Head or tail.
And they ask them.
Yeah.
They ask the believer now.
Which one you call? Head or tail?
Head or tails for the believer for the games of God to begin.
Yes, indeed.
See, and this is called splitting the Red Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, red represent truth. There's nothing more truthful than understanding this beautiful gift we have called the flesh. This is the most magnetic. This is better than a Bugatti, a Mercedes Benz.
What you say?
A BMW.
What you say?
A McFarren, a Lamborghini.
A Lamborghini.
Corvettes up to date, any fancy car, even a floating ship. Even better than a UFO. is your flesh. And this is considered lower.
That's right. On the bottom rung. They tear the flesh up trying to get that right there. Running ragtag in the ground. Go ahead, son.
Yes, that's why we call the Creator all. Because the Creator didn't leave nothing out.
Yeah.
When it come to us, the Creator didn't leave nothing out. They say leave no child behind. The Creator say I left nothing out. It's all there. We just need the truth. And if we can get the truth, then our minds, see, because our brains is what's keeping us in the falsehood.
Right on.
But our mind
Right on.
is what will liberate us when we understand spirit. See, because the mind got to go somewhere, it got to travel, y'all. And all the mind knows is to travel to the materiality.
Yeah.
It only knows how to travel to materialism. But what about when you learn how to travel to the land of fleshless things?
Ooh-wee. How beautiful that is.
This is what we come to KOS for. To learn how to fly. To travel.
Yes, indeed.
Let's say in Masonic liturgy, it would say a traveling man.
That's right.
Remember, all this gets all of their birth from the mother of Islam. We're going to get to what the meaning of Islam is. This is what has never been told to us, except when Noble Drew Ali came. And now we have to understand we've been told a lie. From Christianity, from the Quran of Mecca, these two books work together like a coin, making people keep flipping heads or tails, and never knowing that they are part of the game.
Yeah.
Where the true understander of the spirit man is called a Sufiyan or Sufian. So that rhymes. Spirit man, Sufian.
Yeah.
The Sufian is the balance, is the true way that was mentioned by Jesus Christ. The true way is a proof of gain to whoever begin to become aware of the Illah Sufiyana, or as we get the word Yah from, Illah Sufi Yah.
Yeah.
This is why we have to understand our beginnings. As we said earlier, that we got to understand that we was given something. Why did creative faith give to spirit man a mind that you might function on the plane of mind? Why did the creative fate give the spirit man a mind, and why did the mind receive a flesh that it might function on the plane of things made manifest?
Beautiful.
Manna flesh, many flesh. So we can understand wisdom speaks from out of the highest plane. And this is what Noble Drew Ali brought back, the real Christianity, or real Christian Science, real the Quran in the sense of the Holy Quran, the Moorish Holy Quran, the Moorish science. So when we're talking about the old time religion, a Christian and a Muslim was once one and the same.
Mm.
There was no difference in all law.
Mm.
When they was one and the same, they was both using the same word.
Mm.
When it came into the separation as heads and tails of a coin,
Mm-hmm.
this is what was done to us through two books,
Mm-hmm.
playing as heads and tails.
Mm.
Well, in those two books, there's not a mention of self-knowledge. There's no self-knowledge mentioned as self-knowledge. That this is the way for you to have self-knowledge. So we had to have angels sent to us in the flesh. This is why we got to understand the soul plane, which we call the mind, and the plane of flesh, which we call the manifest. These two things from understanding is how the coin is together. This is what we call the Illah Wahida, or Wahid, or Tawheed, or oneness, one God. These things have an origin. And what we didn't know is that the soul, since it has its own plane, it is the Lord of its own plane. Man, since he became a living soul, is the Lord of things all manifest. So when you read in the scriptures about dominion over the elements, to the birds, to the living things, this is not talking about exteriorly. This is talking about interiorly. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Did we think about that? The earth was void and without form. But in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. So what is this talking about? This is not talking about the ground we walk on in existence that you call earth. That is talking about the sun. Prior the sun. The sun wasn't even birthed into existence before heaven and earth was created. So we have to take a step back and understand what God is. Because God is the mystery word that has entrapped us. So we got to bring in 1 John. And we got to do some KOS translation. So we can have the right starting point. Because to have the bullseye, you got to be on the money, right? You got to have on the starting point.
Dead center.
So truth is dead center. Or all right. You know the Bible big. Then I'm doing it digitally. Okay, let me type in some words in the beginning.
Yep.
Because we are familiar with these statements. All right. So in KJV it reads in 1 John in the beginning. I'm gonna pull up both of them.
Yeah.
Because I got the basic English translation which I like the best. And we don't need all that thee, thy, old tense.
Yeah.
If you ain't talking that today.
Mm-mm.
So old tense was know thyself. Not all this other stuff we've been conflated with, mixinated with, and alchemized by. Oh yeah, we're gonna get free every time we meet.
Right on. Right on. Truth talking time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's a quick version I can get on the screen. John 1:1. Yeah, I need to. Oh well, it's good these days on the playback. You can always speed it up if it's too if it's not fast enough. Because if I speak it fast, you may not get it. But in playback, you can always speed it up. But 1 John, 1:1, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, we're going to read the original translation of the King James Version. Then we're going to read the original translation of the Basic English. And then we're going to have the KOS translation. Okay, well, we're going from 1 to 4. Let me see if that fit everything on the screen. From 1 to 4. Thank you.
John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Now, how many of us understood that when we first read that? And then how many times did we have to reread? Yeah. And after rereading, we still don't understand. And then after not understanding, did you pray for understanding? Or did you just put the book down, or did you just forget about it? Gray Elder say put it down and started frying some chicken. So that was the King James Version. We're going to come back. We're going to read the Basic English Version from 1 to 4. Now this says 1, John 1:1. From the first, he was the Word. And the Word was in relation with God and was God. This Word was from the first in relation with God. All things came into existence through him, and without him nothing was. What came into existence in him was life, and the life was the light of men. Now we know all translations read different, but to me that's the better of all translations. But in that translation, it still marks something that you still have to discover. So me, myself, as anyone else, have to study to show thyself approved. In old sayings, it would say, study to know thyself. So when we go to the King James Version, which we are a little more familiar with the wordage, So we're going to use this terminology. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Any curious reader, when they first read this passage, a thought going to pass through their mind. With the thought passing within the mind, did we consider that there is a word? And this word was with God, and they say the word was God. Now we have to understand this.
And was. So I guess speaking and talking too.
That's right. Now I'm going to say something your pastors never said, because this comes with study of self. And it's so simple what I'm finna say, that how did your deep people who study miss this? The word was is past tense. When we want to say something present, we say is. This is why it's not called was long. It's called is long.
Yeah.
See, we have to understand what was is that which is and ever more to be. So is the only thing that is. So when we say the word is, we are talking about the Creator. Is long was the word. Now this is very key. Now we're going to bring this back in. Islam is that word that you won't know what that is.
Yeah.
The only way you would know is by understanding how the language works.
Yeah.
Was is past tense. To be mean it never came. Is mean it continually exists.
Present, that's right.
So if it don't say in the beginning is the word, and the word is with God, and the word is God.
Yeah.
See, it don't say that.
No, it says was. That's past tense.
There we go.
Past tense. And
So-
then it ain't saying nothing about a name. And I don't know of anything that doesn't have a name to it. I don't care if it's beginning. If you show up somewhere, you ain't just a thought or a word, but your voice and your matter and could talk. Now this word that you talking about, it and talking, I guess walking, all that as well. But you point out something that's real critical here when you say was. What about now? Go ahead, son.
Oh, beautiful. Because this is the things that we got to know, and this is what gives us the truth. Now, when we deal with what is, now we can come to the truth.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because we are is. We ain't was yet.
Yeah.
We could say people who came and gone was.
Was, yeah.
But the people who always here
now they
is.
present, that's right. They is. They is here.
So this is where the word Islam.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to read this from this way. In the beginning was Islam.
That makes so much sense.
And Islam was with God.
Good. That sound good to me.
And Islam was God.
That sound good to me.
Islam, the same was in the beginning with God.
Mm-hmm.
All things were made by him.
Mm-hmm.
And without him was not anything made that was made.
Mm-hmm.
In him was Islam, and Islam was the light of men.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, this is the old ancient way of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
The ancient Bible was written in Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
So, if the ancient Bible was written in Arabic, this is where we come to the understanding.
Yeah.
Now, we got to understand what is Islam. Because we've been misconstrued, or we never been actually told. We said, we've been told that the most part, Islam means peace. Peace with God and peace with man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is why this is very important right here. I'm getting the data up. This is why this is really important here.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important. I'm about to say the screen freezing.
See, because if you're going to start out right, you got to be right and know right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the beginning of what is to be.
Mm-hmm.
So the beginning got to be right.
It got to be right.
Is what I'm trying to say.
In order for us to end right.
That's my point.
Now we're going to do a common Google search without the book. We're going to do an AI research and see what it says about what Islam means. I typed in Islam meaning. This is what AI says.
Yeah.
Islam is a religion that teaches the belief in one God, Allah, and the acceptance of his will. The word Islam comes from an Arabic root that means surrender or submission. And that's where we want to stop. See, they say AI says means surrender or submission.
Submission. Surrender or submission.
Mm-hmm.
What if you surrender to the devil or surrender to lies?
There we go.
What
Great.
if you
Right. Surrendering to a false book.
To a lie.
Right. What
or
if
for the truth?
Right.
So we got to be real careful.
You got to be very careful. That's why it takes a tremendous amount of study
Mm-hmm.
when we're dealing with lies.
Yeah.
Because it's to catch you up for something.
Yeah.
So even when you go on Edamon online and you look up Islam, it says that Islam literally means submission.
Mm. Mm.
So, and they say the word salam means peace.
Mm.
But Islam means submission.
Mm.
See, so we have to get an understanding from truth, not from falsehood.
Yeah.
See, and the only truth we have is the Illah Sufi'ana, or the Illah Sufiya. Before this, we had the Moorish Holy Quran and Noble Drew Ali Moorish literature, where he says, has a head entitled, What is Islam? And Islam is a very simple faith. Islam means peace. So that's where we get Islam is peace. When I say As-Salam, that's peace. When we say Islam, this is why it was in the beginning with God. See, we have to understand God and with Islam. Just like we have to understand all law. We already understand all law, but we need to understand the Christian side of God, because that is part of Islam. So now when we understanding in its proper term, the word that was with God and the word that was God is Islam. Islam is so important because it's the same as God. Because all things, this is how we get to all law. And then we say God created all things by what? Speaking. So when we say law, that's the divine word spoken. Let there be light, in other words. So not through hands and feet, but through speaking, the creator, God, the creator, created all things. So now when we bringing it together, he spoke something. See, and this is how he created heaven and earth. Islam. So now when we are talking about the same, what is the same? See, now we got the true definition of Islam. Could I hear some definitions of some definitions you heard and what Islam is to you before we bring up what is, according to the Sufiyun, what is the definition of Islam? Because we done heard a lot of things like submission.
Oh yeah, like a way of life.
A way of life.
Peace.
Peace.
You
know. A religion.
Yeah.
And you got to take a shahada to even be a part.
Now, if it say that it's a religion, because we do know that we have what we call so-called religion, if Islam is the religion. And then we have all these other so-called denominations that they proclaim to be their religion. So how can we wind up with all these other religions, but ain't but one religion, and that's Islam, but yet we got Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian, Catholic, Lutheran, Mormons, the beat goes on.
Because anything that came and gone is considered was. All those things that just mentioned is part of the was club. See, you can do anything when it's was.
Yeah.
This is the trick. That's
was club. Yeah.
All those are part of the was, not is. That's not the truth. Truth is, not was. Right?
Yeah. I look at the word Sam as was, just like you spell it the same way you just flip the W.
Right.
The W is spraying out, make an M, take the S, put it on the front, and you got Sam.
Right.
The Sam Club.
Right.
The Was Club.
All that played all together. And that word go back to ancient Egypt. So all these things, this is why you got the word is. Or some people say the wrong saying, ISIS. See how the pronunciation play?
Yeah.
See, so all this been around, but they playing with certain functions. So now anything that it can last for a moment. If it came, it was. So all of their Christian denominations came and gone.
Yeah.
So it was a time it existed, and in their belief it always will exist. So what was will ever be. But right in the middle is the straight path, or the middle way, or the flat earth. This is where all things is Islam. So this is where we have to understand what is Islam. Because in Christianity, you take a baptism. In the Quran of Mecca, you do a shahada. Both of those are two sides of one coin. Falsehood. So when we're talking about, are those the true practices that the divine creator, God, Allah, ordained for all of us to know and understand? How to do a shahada, how to do a baptism. And we'll find that's not consistent with truth. Truth is. It don't need to be, truth cannot be baptized. Truth cannot even be a shahada.
That's right.
Truth is, and this is why we have to understand what Islam is. See, because what is Islam. I'm not just saying fancy words. These are slow words I had to study. What is. You can't take that away. What is. And what we find out what is Islam. And now we finna go in and find out the meaning of Islam. From the Sufiyan itself, from the way. Islam is first a devotion to self-knowledge.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. A devotion to self.
To self. We never been told that definition of Islam. They've been keeping us away from it. So when we say KOS, that's saying Islam.
That's right.
Islam is first a devotion to knowledge of self. Self-knowledge. Three things: self-knowledge, self-restraint, and third, to honor God through your good works and virtuous lives. This is what Islam means. Islam means you honor God through yourself, doing good works and living a virtuous life. So now, this is what's going to open up 1 John and John now. Now that we know that the word is Islam, now we just know what Islam means. It means self. I self, Lord, am master. That's on the higher self. I self, law, am master. That's on the lower plane. Now we understand why that's there. Islam means self-knowledge. So now when we go back in 1 John, I'm going to replace it with the true word Islam for Islam. In the beginning was the self. And the self was with God. And the self was God. The self was in the beginning with God. All things were made by the self. And without the self was not anything made that was made. In him was self. And the life was the self of men. Now that's reading it back in its full capacity. Truth retranslated. Now doesn't that make sense?
That makes so much sense.
That would be logical.
That's,
This is why we don't know the beginning, because self is the beginning. You don't remember when you was born? Somebody got to tell you. Meaning that wasn't your beginning. Your beginning was with God.
Yep.
So now this is where we got to bring in.
You see, and that also ties right into that oneness of the law. See?
There it goes. The oneness. The oneness.
When you find yourself, you find a law. See that?
Yes.
See that? It's all connected.
Mm-hmm. See, once you find yourself, you find the divine creator.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense as we just read it now. Remember, self was in the beginning with God.
That's right.
So once you find yourself, you find the divine creator.
So that explains why all the government propped up and got all your attention. And now they playing the role of God. They want you to serve them while they tax your butt to death. And bow down to them while they tell you so many lies. And have passing so many bills through legislature to keep you entertained. That's all they do.
They keeping you propped up with lies.
That's right.
Supported by false religions.
Yeah.
Which are really cults.
And
these are mystery cults.
Yeah.
Masons are mystery cults.
Yeah.
Shriners are mystery cults. Anything you gotta join and earn degrees is a mystery cult. That's not a religion. A religion is free.
Yeah.
For one, 2, open.
Yeah.
And 3, to all.
Yeah.
It's equal to all.
Yeah.
So now we done found out the true word that no preacher ain't never told us is, and now we have found is Islam. Now we done found out Islam is self-knowledge. So the only thing left is to know what God is.
Yep. It's all left.
And as you said, the oneness, God is the one. This is what we got to understand. God is the one, and the one is going to help us find who is the one.
That's right.
Now here we come out of Sufa 31. I'm not saying this. I'm saying if you can find a text older than what I'm presenting as logical, reasonable, and factual truth, that if your source does not predate my source, then my source wins just by date alone. If your source doesn't mention the greatest source in it, then it's not a source at all. If your source doesn't have the highest law in it, then it's not the highest law. Everything in your source will have to be backed by the source. You can't use 2 books to discover 1 book. So you can't go to many books like the Bible. That's many books. That's a library of one book.
Yep.
That's not one book. That is many books,
Many books.
in one
66.
book. Those are considered 66 different books in your library.
And they're all contrary of each other. How about that?
That's what the 66 stands for. Then they got more elevated version with the 72. Then they got more elevated version with the 81.
Mm-hmm.
See, they playing with the numbers because they hiding something.
Yeah.
Because these names is not in there.
No.
We just said Islam means to honor God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So God is not left out of Islam. So now when we saying what is God, now we got to go to the proper God is the one.
Yeah.
So now who is the one?
Yeah.
This is where you get all.
Mm.
Now all things can combine into one. See, and this is the hardest thing for us to understand. This is why you got the God, then you got all law. Because God is the one, and the one is the all. All, the all holds all things in oneness. So when we say oneness, that means all things combined as one. So now the Creator in the Bible is a jealous God. That's not all. So now when we're talking about only thing that can be the one is that which holds all. Don't the universe hold all of us? Let me bring it to reality.
Everything in here.
That's called Islam.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. The trees, the birds, the bees.
It
all,
is.
All is.
It is. That's called Islam. Now, there's a creator. Remember, if the universe or the place we in is one, holding all things, this is the evidence that the one exists.
Yeah.
The one is holding all things called the universe. So if the universe exists, that means it's a divine creator. And God only being the one, he will only have the one religion.
That's right.
And that one religion has to have self included.
That's correct.
And it has to have self-knowledge.
No other way.
No other way, or it wouldn't be the creator. So now that's how we come to from the one to the all. God is the one, and the one is the all. And then that's how you say who is the creator of all. We talking about all of this. Me, you, the trees, the birds, anything that we see and hear and can feel. Who created all? And that's where you get the true name for the divine creator. All law. He spoke the word. So now we're going to read Surah 31:6 to find out what the one is, who is all. 6, all law is the one. Did we catch it?
Yeah.
Is the one.
Allah.
Is the one. Is the one. Is the one true. True, y'all.
Yeah.
That's where you get the word ruh from, which is your immortal spirit. The divine creator. One true and only divine creator. Allah is the one true and only divine creator. Now, it tells us Islam, with our self-law, the first law is divine law. Now find divine law in your holy Bible. And I'll be like Elijah Muhammad. I give you $10,000 out my vest pocket, and let's up that to $1 million. And if you can't, I need your million.
Ooh-wee.
All or nothing. We going all in.
All in.
Now, with that never been discovered, the word divine, the phrase divine law is not even in a holy book. How is a holy book missing the first law?
Yep.
They gave us the 10 commandments before they gave us the first law.
Yeah.
You got the 10 commandments.
Yeah.
They got the first law.
Yeah.
So now we got the first law, and now they can have their 10 commandments. The 10 commandments is what govern the lower self. See, once you understand the one is the one that governs all.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
The one is the one that governs all. And that all is the all who is all law.
All, as in y'all.
Yes. And so the law of all. Number 8, all law is the divine creator of all things. Didn't the Bible just say all things were made by him? John 1:3. The divine creator, all law, is all things, the collection of all words. Did we catch that? In the beginning was the word.
All words.
All words.
They go for those words in the beginning.
There it go.
That they're trying to put together in the Bible.
So this is how they cannot fool truth. Because when we say truth, T-R-U-T-H, that gets its root word from T-R-U-E. There's no truth without something being true.
Yeah.
So this is why we need to understand every word belongs to the divine creator. And this is the next, and then it's y'all turn. He, out of the last Sufa that I'm going to read, Sufa 45 and 10. Not chapter and verse, but Sufa. This is the word for truth. He who knows his own self knows the divine creator. That's truth and love. I resign in peace and wisdom.